Is there something that we might be encountering in the future that is right there in the solar system? That's what we're being told. That's all I can say on that, but I want you to think about that. Well, look at what happens here. The sun, after a couple days, is now widened to the orbit of Venus. Does this not suggest that something is going to happen to the solar system on guess what day? December 21st, 2012. They gave you the planetary alignment and they give you what's going to happen. They show you the sun. They show you the sun changing in a very, 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 very dramatic way. This doesn't mean it's going to kill us. The other things show that it's an energetic change. And it would also appear that this indicates some sort of energetic influx, and that these indicate all the ET groups that are surrounding us at this time. These are code ciphers for different planetary civilizations that are coming in. So this gets us into interplanetary climate change. And I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on this stuff because there's so much of this data. But this is the smoking gun. When anybody tells you, oh, there's nothing that's changed, and it's all the same old stuff, it's not true. It's not true. First of all, let's look at the activity of the sun. It's the highest it's ever been in 8,000 years. This is taken from Antarctic and Arctic ice core samples, which have been correlated with tree rings and all the other stuff they use. 11,000 years ago, the fall of Atlantis, look at how high it is. It's almost that high now. It's the highest it's been in 8,000 years. The sun is now giving off storms that used to take 2 or more hours to get here, showers of protons. Last year, well, that's 2005, I'm sorry. In 2005, one of them got here in 15 minutes. That means the energy in the solar system is conducting those particles faster, which means it's charging up. The energy is vibrating faster, the particles move faster. It's very simple. NASA is now warning of a space Katrina in guess what year? 2012. They're saying that the sun could have a massive radiation blast, just like it's possible that the crop circle was showing us here. Even Army studies, mainstream government studies, are saying that the sun could be driving all the climate change on the Earth. Obviously, we're seeing it's at an all-time 8,000-year high. The solar wind is slowing down. That's still been happening. It's very weak. And at the same time, the sun's bubble, the actual magnetic field of the sun, has gotten 25% smaller. The most likely explanation for that is that the outside is pushing in on it. There's something pushing in on it and making it smaller. That's what would most likely be causing this, which again suggests we're moving into an area in the galaxy where there is a higher energetic charge. We have been in touch with insider witnesses thanks to Project Camelot, and one of the things we've heard is that we do have this fleet of ships out there outside the solar system, and they have looked at this wave coming in. They know there's a wave, they know it's coming in, and they're studying it, and they see that it's coming into the solar system. So they are paying attention. But they're not going to tell us until the last minute, which is, just enough time for everybody to panic. Well, they run away. But that's not what this is about. This is about genetic change, and it's about evolution. And it's not a doom and gloom thing. Even though I'm showing you stuff that you could think about in a fearful way, all of these messages, all these crop formations that they've built up 1,200 years of credibility to show you genetic evolution. They're not showing you doom and gloom. What would be the point? If it's an intelligent cosmos, why would it create life on this beautiful planet just to belch it off in a big solar flare? That's not what this is about. The galactic dust, there's more dust that came in between 2000 and 2001, 300% more than all the 1990s combined. That's another major study that was found. If you look at Mercury, Mercury's magnetosphere in 2008 was much more powerful than it was seen in the 70s with Mariner 10. And here's the actual mainstream publication where that came through. And now just recently, they go back a year later and they see even more stuff. They found magnetic tornadoes, magnetic twisters, and they said one of the biggest surprises was how strongly the dynamics of the planet's magnetic field solar wind interaction had changed from the first Mercury flyby in January 2008. So what this is telling you is that Mercury has changed dramatically in its magnetic field in 1 year. That's it. Mercury is going nuts. That's the first planet in the solar system. That's not the only planet that's doing this. Look at Venus. 2,500% increase in the green glow in less than 20 years, looking like this right here. That's totally amazing. On Mars, you have the appearance of clouds. You see the clouds here, that they weren't there. Mars didn't used to have clouds or ozone. They've only appeared in the last 30 years or so. It's another major change. Mainstream media has reported on global warming on Mars. Guess what? Nobody's driving SUVs on Mars. At least if they are, there's probably a lot less of them than there are on Earth, and they probably run on free energy, based on what our whistleblowers are telling us. But that's melting, something is melting the ice caps on Mars. Jupiter has this plasma torus that you couldn't see before 1974, and yet now it looks like this. As time goes on, the density of this torus, as you see here, is getting 200% thicker. This is the natural saucering movement that it makes as the moon Io is going around its orbit. Well, they get so bored, they're stronger than expected. 200% increase in the whole density of this thing in basically 25 years, 15 years. Very, very short time. 15 years, every single particle inside this thing gets 50% denser. They say, well, it exceeded expectations. Okay. No biggie. Jupiter's white ovals disappeared in 3 years. There's 3 of them up here, and then you see there's 2, and now there's 1. Dr. Philip Marcus believed this would cause an 18-degree global warming on Jupiter in only a decade. Well, guess what? It's a decade later, and now Jupiter is having raging heat thunderstorms that they're calling global upheaval, just what he predicted would happen. These are infrared heat signatures that were not there before, much higher intensity. Now, you camera guys, can you shoot either one of these? Because I'm just realizing that over here we have light on that slide, and over here we don't have any light. And so that's a better one for me to be using my pointer on. So I think I'm going to switch over to this one now. Oh. Somebody throw stones at the idiot here. All right, never mind. Let's keep going. The storms appeared during a dramatic planet-wide disturbance that's ongoing on Jupiter. It's yet to be explained, but it's changed the color of the stripes. Storms are probably tied in with a global upheaval. Io's ionosphere, the moon that we were showing you before, 1,000% higher. That's all the charged particles, which are coming from the sun. It's unexpected. This is ridiculous. This is our entire backyard. I've showed you every planet. Mercury's having magnetic tornadoes. Mercury is having so much change that in 1 year it's gone nuts. Venus is having a 2,500% increase in its green glow. Mars is having global warming and ozone in the atmosphere and clouds that weren't there before. Now you're going out to Jupiter, you're seeing this plasma torus show up, all the particles are getting bigger, there's more and more of them. You look at the moon Io, it's the same thing, ionosphere is 1,000% higher. The surface has gotten 200% hotter, 3 times hotter than Mercury. How did that happen? Surprised? Well, yeah, we can't explain it. Okay. Europa is much brighter than expected. This is what they thought it would look like based on what it used to look like, and this is what they actually got. Look at all that light. Ganymede, same thing, 200% brighter. 1,000% increase in its density of its atmosphere. Saturn's plasma torus, 1,000% denser, same thing, short period of time, basically 12 years. Aurora are being seen in the polar regions of Saturn. Here's another new thing, that's heat that wasn't there before. Massive X-rays were seen for the first time near the equator of Saturn in 2004. Uranus was featureless as a cue ball in 1986, but look at what happens to it by 99. Dr. Eric Karkoschka finally has some of the childlike enthusiasm we really should see. These are really big, big changes, man. Check it out, it's incredible. It's been hit by huge storms, dude. So he's finally got it right. Seasonal brightness changes not well understood. Moving on. That's the official NASA report. Uranus 2004 is even brighter. Now I'm going to superimpose the original over what you got here. Look at how much this is changing. All that stuff is new. That's all this bright stuff that wasn't there before. Well, guess what happens when you go out to Neptune? Exactly the same thing. This is what it looked like in 1989. This is what it looks like in 1996. 0 degrees, quarter rotation, half rotation, 3/4 rotation. Dum, 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 dum. Now we go up to 1998, you see that there's more brightness coming in, but look at what happens in 2002. It's gone 40% brighter in near-infrared, which is just above visible light. If you could see this spectrum, this is what it would look like. To the naked eye, it's not changing that much, but this is only barely above what our eyes can see as visible light. So now I'm going to show you what it looks like as it goes from 89 to 2002. Watch. Watch the bottom. Look at how much it's changing. Do you think this is just a random thing that's being caused by the tilt of the equator of the planet relative to the sun? No. It's a planet-wide, solar system-wide effect.